Kol Halam Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. All praises be to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of His Son and our Savior, Yahweh Shai. Much respect to the brothers that are doing this work in sincerity and risking their lives and freedom to do so. Salutations to the hopeful elect and the confusion of faith that are scattered abroad. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is a very important lesson and a very timely lesson because we know that we are living Bible prophecy in real time. Shalom, family. And this is not a joke. It's nothing to play with. The Bible is not a fairy tale book, as we've been led to believe. The slaves are waking up on the plantation, and we have regained and reestablished control over our book. Everybody can feel it. That's right, Jumpelis Midi. Even the Edomites know that their time is up. The stock market, T. Taylor, was built on slavery, on the backs of Hebrew Israelites. The stock market is falling. The whole economy is beginning to crash. Shalom, Brother Kennedy Ware. And so, without further ado, I'm gonna start off with some scriptures, and then we have a short video that I'm going to play. The video is very good. I like this one. All praises be to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive none of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she has filled, fill to her double. How much has she glorified herself, and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall utterly be burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power which judgeth her. Book of Revelations, chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sit upon many waters, in which the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Take a look at the situation with retail in the US. It looks really bad, no doubt, but the car manufacturers are doing the same. If a corporation can't be profitable, it first attempts to cut costs, fire some people, run sales, close some poor performing locations. Then if things get desperate, they file for bankruptcy. But today it doesn't seem to be an issue with a particular retailer. It's a widespread issue. All over the United States, stores are closing up shop. They just can't become profitable. Some of these stores had been in business for decades, and now things have really changed. Take Sears as an example. This company had been pervasive at every mall, even beyond the US. but their massive real estate budget, rising costs, and dwindling profit ate away at their bottom line. They might be safe for now, but ultimately they will fail. A company can no longer compete in the new world using old world strategies. Oftentimes, individuals will suggest that the rise of e-commerce and Amazon has been the cause of the demise of retail and created the retail apocalypse that we see today. This is only partly true. The absolute fact is that e-commerce accounts for approximately 10% of retail sales in the US today. That's hardly a large percentage of the total as many suggest. There are more factors here at play. Products are purchased at extremely low prices by these retailers who buy in bulk and mark up their prices. Wages have risen to some degree, but we should also acknowledge the rising costs of these physical locations. Rent is always rising considerably, and so are the expenses such as utilities that they may incur. These are very important factors to consider. GM is closing plants in and outside of the US. Honda closed up shop in the UK. The dying car industry of Canada continues to dwindle. There is no stopping the offshoring of jobs as these massive corporations take their bailout money and run. In 2019, over 4,800 stores have already been announced to be closed. This is on pace to be a record year. While this is happening, there are stores opening up as well. There's no denying that. However, they may have the same fate as these retailers that are closing up shop right now. Only time will tell. It is truly worrisome for the people who work at these stores because they will lose their income and will be looking around at other retailers for a similar job. Fewer positions available for people to apply to in the same field. In this case, retail happens to be one of the most pervasive industries in the US. We'll see if big changes occur. With the rise of automation and robotics, we are seeing more businesses specifically state that they aim to reduce the amount of employees they have and bring on the robots. This stretches from the financial companies with robo-advisors to the fast food companies using robots as well. This is on all levels of industry, and it's happening rapidly. The bottom line here is that people who are in a situation where they rely on their single income source might be in for a rude awakening in the near future. Others who have jobs that are less outsourceable will have some time. But if large amounts of people are out of work, the problem then affects everyone, essentially. That's what an economic downturn is all about. Many have asked the question, if robots are taking all of the jobs, who will buy all of the stuff? An interesting dilemma. What we are seeing today in the US is entirely intentional. It's widespread. Store closures will not stop, despite the grand economic boom we keep hearing about. I don't know about you, I'm so tired of being lied to. Quite frankly, I've had enough.
Wow. I tell you, brothers and sisters, the Most High is bringing Babylon down. And it's still got a lot of Edomites walking around puffed up with their necks stretched forth, looking around full of pride, wearing a suit and tie. Full of pride. That's why the scriptures are so accurate. We're going to go into it. Because these devils, they're getting more and more pride despite the Most High tearing down this kingdom right before their eyes. Let's go to Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? See? So the Most High is being sarcastic. You was not too long ago being cave beasts, making grunts and moans wearing animal skins. Now you're wearing suit and ties and full of pride. But see, what many of you don't know, brothers and sisters, the elite, the so-called Illuminati, the international bankers, are intentionally trying to collapse the system in order to muster the cattle, muster the sheep into accepting the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. That's what these devils are doing. So they're playing with our lives. And they think that they're going to just convince us to take a microchip in us and be tracked like cattle. But these devils are in for a rude awakening because the Most High is going to destroy their so-called New World Order. And their plan is going to fail. And they're willing to sacrifice the lower level Edomites, like you see in this picture here. They don't care about their own people. And they look at the Israelites like we're nothing, like we're the scum of the earth. But the Most High has a plan for these damn devils. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 137. Because I'm like this man that did the narration. I'm sick of these devils. And they got the whole world deceived into thinking that they're God's chosen people when they're the devil on the planet. The book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 4. Let's go to verse 3. For there they carried us captive, required us a song, and they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. So they made us sing and entertain them when they took us into captivity, made fun of us and mocked us. How shall we sing the Lord's song in the strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my hand forget her cunning. And if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. But yet we got a lot of sellout, stepping, fetch-it coons that love shucking and jiving and sucking up to their master Esau. They love it here. They love being slaves. They love being on the bottom. Esau has given them a suit and tie, so now they look down on their own people. So they got great judgment too. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even unto the foundation thereof. So in ancient Babylon, when the sons of Ham, when those devils took us down, all right, Esau, Edom helped them and made fun of us and helped to marshal us and take us into captivity around 546 BC. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So what thou hast done, it shall be done unto you. So you devils are going to pay for all of the evil and wickedness you've done against the Most High's chosen children. Verse 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. And that's what they've done more so to the northern kingdom when Christopher killing Columbus came over here to the Americas. He bragged in his memoirs and said he didn't put his sword down at one time while he was over here. And they bragged about how they would rape the women and bash the baby's skull against the stones and then throw the fetuses to the dogs so that the dogs can eat. And we got sellout Israelite coons that want to try to save these damn devils. I don't understand. I'm really confused. All right, let's go into the scriptures. We're going to start off in the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 21. And we're going to start around verse 8. So Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 21 verse 8. He that build his house with other men's money is like one that gather himself stones for the tomb of his burial. See that? So all the wealth that they've accumulated over the centuries on the backs of the Hebrew Israelites, it's all for naught because their kingdom is fallen and they're going to have to pay. And they're going to pay most of them with their own blood. And the remaining of them are going into slavery. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 22, verse 13. Woe unto him that build his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that use his neighbor's service without wages, and give him not for his work. So many sell out coons and wicked heathen Gentile dogs support sending $10 billion a year overseas to the fake Jewish Khazars, imposters in the land. But they tell us, Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Native Indians, and Native Latinos, that we got to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And they tell us that we're lazy and have low IQs. If their high IQ is so high, why does the U.S. have a $22 trillion debt? That's what we know of. That's what's being reported. So these high IQ so-called fearless leaders have led us into a pit with a $22 trillion debt, but yet we have low IQs and we're lazy. They're on stolen land that they've gotten by bloodshed and rape and robbery. But we're the ones that need to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And by the way, we don't want your reparations. All right? The Most High says the land cannot be healed but by blood, as it is written in Numbers 35 and 33. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and dealt not treacherously, they dealt not treacherously with thee. Let's read that again. Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So woe be unto you. That means a great destruction is coming forth. And we're starting to see the signs of that great judgment and tribulation to come on the enemies of Israel. Because you mess with the Most High's apple of his eye, as it is written in Zechariah chapter 2. You mess with the apple of his eye. Let's go to Isaiah 33 and 2. O Lord, be gracious unto us, for we have waited for thee. And be thou their arm every morning, our salvation also in the time of trouble. So we got to lean on the Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay? That's where our strength and our salvation come. Our help comes from the Lord. And so we know that throughout history, the nations that took advantage of Israel, they enjoyed it but for a time, until we begin to call back on our God, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And when the Israelites begin to call back on our God, a great major ass whooping usually ensues or follows shortly thereafter. So Esau Edom should have studied history, all right, on how all the other ancient kingdoms that took Israel in their possession, they only enjoyed the fruits of that possession for a short time. And the Most High always brings a great future judgment and vexation on them. Let's read this in the Bible and where it has occurred before. Let's go to the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 15, verse 3. And now for a long season, Israel has been without the true God, Yahweh, and without a teaching priest, and without law. But we know Jeremiah 3 and 15, the Most High Yahweh says, I will send you pastors according to my own heart, not those step and fetch it sellout coons showing all their teeth and shucking and jiving in the churches, playing some damn tambourines and tap dancing. The Most High gonna put those coons to death. 2 Chronicles 15 and 4. But when they were in their trouble, did turn unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai of Israel, and sought him, he was found of them. And in those times there was no peace in him that went out, nor to him that came in, but great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. You see, the stock market was built on the slaves of the Hebrew Israelites. The global economy falls on the foundation of the U.S. petrodollar. So the Most High is going to bring great vexations upon all the nations that have drank of the wine of the wrath of Babylon. It's coming. So get ready. We had to suffer with your foots on our necks. So it's not too funny when the rabbit has the gun, is it? All right? Second Chronicles chapter 15, verse 5. And in those times there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in, but great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. And nation was destroyed of nation, and city of city, for Yahweh did vex them with all adversity. Be strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. So, a lot of our people still got fake white Jesus seared and burned into their brain. They think they can keep walking around and bowing down to their master Esau, and no judgment is coming. But the real Savior is coming back for blood. All right? So this is not a game to be playing, brothers and sisters. It's time to turn back to our true power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and call on his name. And if you're not praying for the destruction of this wicked, evil kingdom, then you ain't praying. Period. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And that's why we know that we're in the end. Because 2 Ezra 6 and 9 tell us that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. And they can feel it. Esau knows that their time is up. These devils have lived deliciously off our backs and are prideful too, full of pride. The Most High is going to bring that pride down though. And they're going to be walking around with animal skins back on their backs again. All right, let's continue. Matthew 24, verse 9. And then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. But we got some sellouts talking about all nations are going to be saved and God loves everybody. We're all equal in God's eyes. Okay, it's time to stop lying. And the false doctrines are being brought down and destroyed through the men of the Lord. So Yahweh Shai is telling them what to watch for. These devils are trying to bring forth the new world order and the mark of the beast. And they think they're going to just stamp us like cattle with an RFID chip. All right? I'm not letting you put no damn chip in me and track me like I'm a cow or something. You done lost your damn mind. Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 4. Because Esau Edom is going to know what it feels like to be at the bottom. Their time is up. Isaiah 14, verse 4. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, How has the oppressor ceased? The golden city is ceased. The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, and he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. So if you don't accept their policies of homosexuality and their policies of accepting the U.S. petrodollar as your currency, you can't use your own damn currency. You got to accept what the international bankers and those dog Rothschilds, they want to mandate. And if they can't put a corporation or a bank, a central bank in your nation, then they're going to put you on the terrorist watch list. These are some real devils. All right? If they can't have a corporation or a central bank in your land, you're on the terrorist watch list. Or if you don't accept their wicked policies. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet, that break forth into singing. So when these devils are taken down, the whole earth is going to be turning it up, parlaying, because we sick of these devils. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth in singing. That's why Proverbs 29 and 2 says, when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. But when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. Roughly paraphrasing. Isaiah 14:8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. What that means is these nations are going to be taken down. All right? The true rulers and the true judges of the earth, the men of Israel, is going to be reestablished back onto the throne under Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai and our King David. All right? No more of these wicked devils, these cave beasts, are going to rule in wickedness. Their time is up. Isaiah 4, that hell from beneath is moved. That means hell is a condition, brothers and sisters. They're going to face a low condition and be brought down to a low estate. They're going to be the new spick, jigaboo, sambo, and nigger. All right? They're going to be the new byword and byword and proverb. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 14 and then. Isaiah 14:10, Salakia. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Nobody is going to be able to believe that this man has been brought down to a low estate, to a peasant status. But it's coming, thus saith the Lord. Job 18:5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. They're turning against each other. The NATO alliance is fractured, and it's falling apart. Turkey backing away. Germany is showing signs of not being compliant with the alliance. So is Italy and Britain. All right? So there is strife among themselves. That's why Yahweh Shai says a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. So Esau Edom's kingdom is fallen. And the Russians, by the way, they've been in bed with America for a long time. Don't buy into that Russian against America. That's all garbage. Edomites, they're all brothers and sisters. The Russians, the Americans, don't buy into all that divisive stuff. They're all cave beasts. All right, so stop buying into this left-right paradigm, capitalism, communism. They all have one agenda under the international bankers. All right? For he is cast into a net by his own feet and walketh upon a snare. Job 18:9. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. So all the people they've oppressed, and the working class, the downtrodden, the poor, are going to rise up against these devils throughout the entire earth when this system collapses. And we're going to get that. It's in Habakkuk chapter 2. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. Job 18:12. And his strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. Let's go to Job 20:5. For the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. So right now they're on cloud 9. Rulership. Full of pride, and walking around looking down on the rest of us, not acknowledging that they've stolen from the free labor of the Hebrew Israelites for over 400 years. All right? But they have the pride and the high IQs, and they won't acknowledge their offense. Let's continue. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. So all the gold, oil, and drugs they've stolen is all for naught. And the riches and the land is going to go back to the downtrodden, to the Hebrew Israelites when we reestablish rulership on this earth. So these devils, they have a great future judgment coming. But yet they want to continue to live in la la land and be in denial and not acknowledge their offense. Let's go to Job chapter 20, verse 18. That which he labored for, he shall restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Why, Lord? Because he has oppressed and has forsaken the poor, and because he has violently taken away a house which he built not. See, wherever they go, they take you down through their blessing the sword, as it is written in Genesis 27 and 40. And then they make you handmaids and servants. And then they make you build their kingdom and serve them. After they've taken your women and made them bed wenches, they take the men and enslave them and pay them low wages and oppress a man and his heritage. The time to pay is coming. Book of Job 20 and 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he has desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So no matter where they go, the people that they have discriminated against and moved borders and put underneath their foot, those people are going to help bring judgment back on these criminals, vagabonds, robbers. All right? So we're here to bring forth the truth. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. We're going to go to Habakkuk chapter 2. Habakkuk chapter 2. And the Lord answered me and said, I'm at verse 2, Salakia. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that read it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Whose soul is not upright in him? Okay, Obadiah verse 3 tells us the pride of his heart has deceived him. It's talking about Esau Edom. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarge his desire as hell, and is as death and cannot be satisfied. He gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Who puts all the nations underneath them and creates a global currency? Who has their face on the currency and has made the entire world subjugated underneath them and forced us to learn and speak English? Job 9 and 24 says the earth is given into their hands, the wicked, Esau, Edom. It's not that hard. Let's go down to verse 12. Woe to him that build a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. They established their kingdom on bloodshed by taking you down through violence. Behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, the waters to cover the sea. Woe unto him that give his neighbor drink, and that put thy bottle to him and make him drink, that thou may look upon their nakedness. So they feed you false doctrine, false religion. They feed you drugs. They feed you guns into your neighborhood. And then they stand back and criticize you and say you're a criminal, a thug, and you're a terrorist, when they're promoting wickedness and violence throughout the entire earth. If that's not the pot calling the kettle black. Verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So shame is covering these devils because they're being exposed and their kingdom is fallen. So woe be unto you that build a town with blood, because the Most High is not playing, and he is a righteous judge and will bring judgment. All right? So what scriptures we have to share today? I don't have a whole lot of time left, but let's see. Let's grab one. We'll grab one. All right. Somebody shared Revelation 17. Brother Kennedy Ware, Revelation 17, 16, and 17. Revelation 17, 16, and 17. Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahweh hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. So we're talking about the NATO powers, the other countries that give their allegiance and support to the beast, the EU and the United Nations. They're starting to hate the whore, which is Lady Liberty, Babylon the Great. All right, and they're fracturing and falling apart. And now that DJ Trump is on the throne, they're starting to hate America even more so now. So thanks, brothers, for sharing the scriptures, and I appreciate your time. Thank you, sisters. And thanks for those that have participated in this lesson. All praises be to the Most High. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect and the confusion of faith that are scattered abroad. And I want to also give many props and a fist bump of respect to the brothers that are doing this work and risking their lives and freedom to do so, especially going out into the highways and byways and being on the front lines. Shalom and Abba Baba.